letting these men make you believe that it takes forever. You be the one to make the decision. It's time for me to walk away. It doesn't take forever. Yeah, his money. You're being a witch. And a lot of women step into this seat because they realize this isn't going where I thought that this would go. And I'm telling you that you have the power to not step into that situation in the first place. And the first thing you can do is the first thing I said to do, and that was keep your legs closed. Because opening your leg is the only thing that will hold you in a relationship for 5 years that isn't moving anywhere. What are you doing? Hello, good morning, and welcome to another video. So this is going to be really quick, hopefully. I just want to do this for you before I go because I want you guys to know I didn't forget about those of you who this topic is important to. I want to say, girl, it's about to be a whole new year and people are just going to be talking about relationships, and it's just the thing, okay? It's the thing to talk about relationships because secretly, and some people are keeping it very much a secret, it's something that we all desire and we all want to be in healthy relationships. And when I'm speaking of relationships, what am I speaking of? I'm speaking of dating relationships that the end goal is marriage. If that is not your end goal, this is not going to be the video. This video not going to be the video, and no other videos that I have will be the video for you to watch, because that is what I believe that dating is for. Otherwise, you're just simply playing games, wasting your time and wasting your life. And I don't want to have any parts in you doing any of that. So keep that in mind. Another thing I want you to keep in mind is I'm talking to the majority of people. And though I do believe that these things are pretty set in stone, I do know there's very specific circumstances that call for different things. With that being said, it's important that you pair all of this information. Let me close this. It's important that you pair all this information with revelation given to you by the Holy Spirit. And with saying that, what does that mean? That means you're going to have a relationship with him. It doesn't matter who's giving you advice. You're going to have a relationship with him to quantify that advice, to quantify that wisdom, okay? And also I want to go on that same thing and say, these are just some things that I think to be, that I have seen work. Yes, some of them definitely have a biblical backing, but most of this is my opinion. Okay, so let's separate my opinion from the word of God and not try to mingle the two of those. So without further ado, I have a little list here. Just let's get started. Now, this doesn't go for the majority. This goes for everyone. One of the dating mistakes that I want single people to stop making is sleeping with people before you are married. Okay, I say this and I'm going to keep saying this because some people, what's my saying? Some people never get set free. Soul ties are real. I have videos for you guys on soul ties. It's real. And some people lack the understanding and wisdom necessary to step out of these type of strongholds, okay? These type of ties, and therefore never are set free. That means you can spend your entire life, girl, going around the same old bush. And I don't want that for you. I do not want that for you. And one of the ways that I see most people, most women get tied up is because they open up their legs before it's time. Do not do it. And I am a follower of Christ, right? So I believe that you shouldn't do it because he simply said don't do it. But even outside of that, I have watched it ruin people's life, almost ruin mine, okay? I didn't have these kind of teachings. I'm telling you, okay? I'm telling you, don't do it. And if you have been doing it, like I said, I have videos that can help you to get out of some of those situations. All of them. You're going to need to get out of all of them to be successful in marriage. And if you're watching this, like I said, because you've been dating, because you want to find a husband and you want to really start building life. Am I saying marriage is everything? No, but marriage does begin your building process. Okay. You're a woman and you're desiring kids. Well, marriage is the foundation to begin to build that. You understand what I'm saying? And some people think that you can skate around the marriage part because you know that it's going to take a lot of work and just have the kids. So you start doing stuff like single parent adoption and IVF and girl, just all these things all by yourself, not realizing that this is not building a solid foundation. And I don't want it to be you. I don't want it to be you. I see it happening time and time again. Money doesn't stop this from happening to you. Okay, status doesn't stop this from happening to you. Keep your legs closed. No sex before marriage, period. Okay, and I know you're gonna sit here and say, well, can we do this? Can we be kissing and hugging and all that kind of stuff? If kissing and hugging and doing all that kind of stuff is gonna lead to you eventually rolling around the bed, which 99.9999% of people it does, don't do any of that either. You're going to be okay. And if you can't not hug and kiss and touch on somebody else's body, well, you need to watch the video that I made the other day because you have another problem that needs to be addressed before you even go into marriage. Okay? Because you're not building a solid foundation and we want the foundation to be solid. Do you get that? Do you understand that? Am I getting no sex? I don't care. I don't care what type of sex you talking about it is. No sex. Nothing no touching, rubbing, kissing, no looking, nothing. You have so much other things that you can talk about and doing while you're dating someone that don't involve any sex. You broke and you talking about having sex with somebody. Imagine that. Get yourself together. Let's move on to the next thing. This is another one that I think is really good. I know some of y'all don't really like to read your Bible yet. You want to be married, which is marriage God created, and you don't want to know the God who created marriage. But I recently stumbled on this story. I have 2 for you so far on my website. Keep an eye on the website. These are free, okay? Go on the little discipleship tab. I'm going to keep it there. It's going to be there, okay? These are free. It's right below the fast. I have a study of David and Abigail, David and Bathsheba. As you can tell, David is my guy. I love David. I loved his son. I just love his story. But recently I found out about David and Abigail, and it's a beautiful story if you look at it, but it's beautiful in a totally different way. It's not your conventional love story. It's not the Boaz and Ruth story that everybody's always talking about. They're different stories. So what I want you to do is find a different love story in the Bible. And I want you to begin to see a picture that it's not all about this head over heels. Oh girl, I just love him. Abigail's husband died. Okay, he died after him being in a drunken stupor, and she almost died with him. And then she ends up being David's wife. Like I said, go read the story. It's free. You can click on it. You can download it. You can study along with me with that plan. Go find yourself a story. Find yourself a Bible story. There are tons of them. Okay, there are tons of them. They're good. They're juicy. They're not boring. I don't know who told you that reading the Bible was boring. The stories are juicy, and that one's a really good one. I want you to go and find a love story, find a marriage story, so that you can begin to see the flowers that have been painted in society as to how marriage looks when it comes about is not what you should be expecting. And if you're expecting those flowers, you might miss out on a really good man. Okay. A really good man. David was a man after the Lord's heart. Yeah, he was a little crazy, but baby, we all a little crazy. He was a good man. Okay, let's move to the next one. This is a really big one. Okay, and you would think it's common sense, but apparently it's not all that. Apparently common sense isn't all that common. I know we say that a lot, but I'm concerned now. I'm concerned. Do not take marriage advice from someone who has not been married. Do not take marriage advice from someone who has not been successfully married. Okay? If this person has 2 and 3 marriages, don't take any advice from them because they aren't able to apply the good advice that it may be to their life to make things work. And I know you're saying it takes 2 people, and absolutely it takes 2 people. But one of those people do have the ability to choose the other person, right? One person has the ability to choose another person. And there's just certain things that you look for in a mate to, I don't want to say ensure because we can't ensure anything. We're not God. But there is some things that you can look for to just give yourself a better foundation. And I found that a lot of times when people are giving all this advice and they had all these relationships, they are missing out on the foundational principles of how to build a marriage. The Bible lays that out for us very well. And some people are giving advice and they don't have that foundation. And you'll see people who have been married a long time and they seem to be doing well. But when a person like myself, or maybe you see this too, you're like, they've been married a long time, but some of the stuff they're saying is a little off. Or they've been married a long time, but their children doing a lot. Why your son got on a dress? Why does your son have on a dress? Something isn't right. I just want you to be very careful about who you're taking advice from. If the person who's giving you advice doesn't have what you want, don't listen to their advice. It doesn't matter if it sounds good. If they don't have what you want, myself included, okay? If I don't have what it is that you're desiring, don't listen to me. Find somebody else, okay? Find someone else. I beg you. And I used to think that you could listen to someone's marriage advice on like what not to do if they've been divorced. But I find that even that is a very slippery slope, because a lot of people talk to you from the space of the resentment. You know what I mean? They're very angry about why things didn't work out. And a lot of that anger usually is at no fault of their own. And you don't want to listen to them about marriage because it's just going to discourage you. And I'm telling you, marriage is hard work. We've had hard seasons in marriage, but I can tell you it's because we really lacked knowledge. We lack knowledge about relationships. And my husband is older than I, and age doesn't give you wisdom. Believe it or not. Age doesn't give you wisdom. Seeking wisdom gives you wisdom. Okay? Seeking knowledge gives you knowledge. Age does not. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Don't be listening to everybody. Don't listen to everyone. Someone just got married. Baby, you think I've been on here giving marriage advice? Girl, the first year of marriage, or the first 2 years, or the first 3 years of marriage. Okay? No. I didn't even have time to give any advice. You know why? Because I was in the thick of it. And am I saying I have arrived? I have not. But we're going into our 7th year of marriage. I got married when I was pretty young. So I have a viewpoint even to give to the younger woman. And I think that's necessary, because there's a lot of young women just making stupid mistakes. The same stupid mistakes that I made. If it had not been for the grace of God, I'd still be in the same entanglements, honestly. So it's really my reasonable service to give information like this back to you. But just be careful of who you're watching. Like, girl, what were they doing before they got married? What were they doing? They were rolling around the bed before they got married. They had like 5 kids before they got married. What are they telling me? What are they telling me? Okay? The Lord didn't want me on here being no hypocrite, so He didn't let me do none of that, okay? None of that happened. But I just want to say that because I see that happening a lot. You taking marriage advice from people, maybe because they're cute, especially the men. Maybe because they're cute, you're getting advice from them. Maybe because, I don't know. Just be very careful, okay? Because, girl, on year 1 of marriage, just hush. You're not telling me anything. You shut up. You shut your mouth. Okay? Even the Bible gives very specific instructions as to how the first year should look. Okay? Husband taking a break from work to tend to his wife. You know why? Because there's a lot of tending to. Like we say, there's a lot of sex going on. There is a lot of sex going on. But there's a reason. There's a reason for sex and marriage. It's necessary because things get crazy real fast. We're talking about the blending of 2 people with totally different backgrounds, just totally different ideas of life. Somebody within that first year, somebody within that 2nd year, so coming out of the smoke, just say we having a good time. And let people who've been married a little while longer say, okay, that's good. What a blessing. That first year should be a good time because, you got to go down a little slope to learn a few things. You learn a lot when you're in the slopes and the slums. A lot is. This one I'm actually annoyed by. I'm not sure how it's become a thing, but I want to talk about it. This is a dating trend that I really think should be done away with and shouldn't even be on the scene at all. Like, why is it even here? And that is counseling while dating. Get out of here. You couldn't even buy me a ring. You couldn't even get engaged to me. And you think I'm about to sit here and give you all my business? And then you wonder why all of these men or all of these women, if a man is watching, but I'm talking to the woman, all of these men have all of the information as to how to keep you entangled, how to keep you stuck. You wonder why they got all the information? Because your silly self is doing stuff like taking them to counseling with you. You can go to counseling by yourself, but there's no reason that a man who hasn't even put a ring on your finger needs to be in counseling with you. And I would say that's my opinion, but that's just sound wisdom. Okay, that's sound advice. Why are you dragging a man to counseling? Because you think that you're going to be able to counsel away these demons. You're trying to disciple a demon. He got a gambling problem. He knocking you upside your head. He don't want to be at work. He don't want a job. And you think that a counselor, you drug this man to counseling, not even realizing men, okay, realizing that men don't let down walls easily. The only person who's being fooled here is you. Is you. And the crazy thing is, a lot of women, when they find out stuff in those counseling settings, they don't walk away from it. They don't walk away from it. You know, when a man lets you drag him to counseling, y'all been dating for like 5, 6, 7 years, which is a waste of time. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Pre-marriage counseling, absolutely. I think that it's necessary. I think that I ain't gonna say necessary. I think that it's a great idea to have wise counsel when you're in that commitment phase. And I'm not talking about y'all dated for 8 years, you finally got engaged and now you want to do counseling. A lot of times men do that to waste your time, waste even more of your time, just keep you stuck. And I don't want that to be you. That almost happened to me. I told y'all that in the other video. That almost happened to me. I don't want it to happen to you. You've been dating somebody. What more do you want to know? What more are you going to find out? We've been dating for 5 years. What else do you think that we can learn here in counseling that we don't already know? What do you think? You're wasting time. And a lot of you are younger and you think that you have time to waste, and you don't realize that time is moving, okay? And there's something that you're supposed to be doing. Why are you wasting time with a man who cannot commit to you? Stop wasting time. There's a reason that God put you on this earth, and it's not for you to fumble around with this man. It's a waste of time. You're wasting time. And the enemy would love for you to waste your entire life. Because you were but a vapor your entire life, fumbling around with this man. And then when you stop fumbling around with him, stuck in the stronghold that the relationship created, he would love that. And I'm telling you right now, stop wasting your time. Stop dragging these men to counseling. Drag yourself to counseling if that's what you want. If that's what you want, go ahead and drag yourself so that you can get whole enough and well enough that you see that this is actually silly. Do that. You get whole by yourself so you see that it's silly. And sometimes, they'll circle back around. If you let them, you ain't block and delete like I told you to in that last video. They'll circle back around and see if you're just as silly as you was before. And then you didn't spend all your little money on counseling. Just no. Pre-marriage counseling, yes. And that doesn't need to be forever. It's just someone else hearing, someone else with the wisdom to be able to understand what compatibility looks like long-term compatibility. Being able to help us through some of those hard questions that we might not have asked. Okay, that's pre-marriage counseling. But boyfriend and girlfriend counseling, girl, get out of here with that madness. That's madness. I don't know who. Huh? That is madness, girl. That is madness. It's madness and a waste of time. Next. And I've just said this, but this is my next point. Dating for years. How long do you think that you have? How long do you think that you have? Why would you be dating somebody for 5 years? Why? Why? And how easy do you think? Come on. I want you to hear me. Hear me. Hear me, hear me, hear me. You date somebody for 5 years. This man decides. Like I said, I know this is multifaceted. This can happen to a man too, but I'm speaking to the women. This man decides that on the 6th year, he wants someone else and he doesn't want you. How easy do you think it's going to be for you to walk away? In your right mind. Without feeling rejected. Without feeling like you wasted your time. And this is where a lot of women step into witchcraft. manipulating, trying to manipulate situations and outcomes, because the only thing that you can do is try. And succeed sometimes for a very short period of time. So you start doing things to manipulate this man. You start manipulating this man with your body, altering it by plastic surgery. You start manipulating this man via his money. You're being a witch. And a lot of women step into this seat because they realize this isn't going where I thought that this would go. And I'm telling you that you have the power to not step into that situation in the first place. And the first thing you can do is the first thing I said to do, and that was keep your legs closed. Because opening your leg is the only thing that will hold you in a relationship for 5 years that isn't moving anywhere. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I said that there are some situations that let's say you were younger. Let's say you guys met as children and you wanted to sort of have a courtship, because maybe it's your cultural thing to do, a courtship for 10 plus years. Okay, that's different. And you're not sleeping with each other. A cultural situation, not one that you're being manipulated into marrying someone, but this is a sort of setup. Okay, cool. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the foolishness of staying entangled, staying around with a man for 5+ years. It don't take that long. It does not take that long. I did not even date my husband. I went on we went on, I think, one official date, and we worked together for a year. And that was enough to see the character of this man and him to see the character in me to know that I was a wife. It doesn't take forever. He knew the first day that he saw me walk into that kitchen that I was a wife. Because God highlights. It doesn't take forever. Stop letting these men make you believe that it takes forever. You be the one to make the decision. It's time for me to walk away. It doesn't take forever. Here we are, the next one. Because I'm seeing it. That's the only reason I'm talking about it. As you can tell, I'm getting a little frustrated. Extended engagements. I talked about this with the counseling. Why are we engaged for 3 years? We want to have sex. Come on, let's be for real here. You want to have sex. I want to have sex. We want to get this thing started. You want children. I want children. We want to get this thing started. We want to get this marriage started. We want to begin building. What are we waiting for? Why are we engaged so long? This is stupid. Why are we engaged so long? Because you want to save for the wedding. That's the lie that I want to get you a nice ring. I want to save for the wedding. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here with it. Leave me. But you're taking vacations. The vacations that we're taking, that you're spending all your money on, that to you is not a big commitment. You get a nice time out of it. You'll pay for a nice time, but you won't pay for a lifetime. You won't do that. Those are the type of men that you need to walk away from. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Extended engagement. How we been knowing each other 10 years and we just reached the engagement phase? And you think you about to hold me here? The engagement is not the covenant. Okay? All right. I just want to make sure you got that. Let's move to the next one. This is the next one, family and friend approvals. I told you guys my story. I'm not saying that you don't have good friends. Like if somebody's knocking you upside your head and your friend's like, hey, you remember he knocked you upside your head. I don't think you should marry him. There's some advice that you could take. But you know what I'm talking about. Well, my mom, like, this is a great man. This is a good man. Best one that you can have. Okay? Blowing your mind with the things he does. And I'm not talking about flipping you around the bed, because remember, you're not doing that. I'm just talking about blowing your mind. I remember I was broke, busted, and disgusted. And they messed up my paycheck at work. I hope I have time here. They messed up my paycheck at work. And I remember my husband, he was not my husband. He wasn't my friend. He wasn't my nothing. He just knew the story because I was pretty upset about it. And he offered to pay my rent. This man didn't know me. He didn't even know I had just started working there. He didn't even know I was capable of returning the money back. He was a good man. Okay? And the crazy thing is, when I said I was engaged to this good man, I didn't get any approval from my family. Everybody was like, are you sure? People I ain't even talked to. My crazy self trying to get approval from people I haven't even talked to. And some of you are doing that very same thing. Stop looking for a friend and family approvals when they're miserable that they don't have what it is that you are about to acquire. And they're ruining it for you. Don't do it. Take it from me. Don't do it. The only approval you need is approval from the throne of grace. Okay? The only approval you need is the approval of God. And when God says yes, that's the only thing that you need to sustain a marriage. Take it from me. Okay? Let's move to the next thing. Being so picky. Why you being so I want to tell you this. I hope I have time. I didn't think it was going to take me this long. I want to tell you this. You know you don't have forever. You know you don't have forever. I'm not saying, baby, that you can't be 40, 50, and 60 with a man, because you can. Pastor Tony Evans got married recently in his older age, and his wife is in her older age, right? It happens. It happens beautifully. It happens. So I'm not saying that it can't happen for you, but you're talking about you want to have children. You know, you want to build. Why are you being so picky? And you're being picky and you don't see yourself. And once you really see yourself, you'll stop with some of the foolishness. Okay? You'll come back down to earth and you stop with some of the foolishness. Some of y'all passing up on good men. Good men. Because he can't afford to put you in the high rise that you want to live in. But you can't afford to put yourself there either. Good men. Stop being so picky. Am I saying you shouldn't have standards? You should have standards. But those standards, I have a video for you, I believe, about some good standards to have. Those standards are really principle matters. They're standards derived from wisdom. They're standards derived from the wisdom of knowing what it really takes to build successful and long-term relationships. They have nothing to do with the type of job, the type of clothes, the type of car, the foolishness that I hear people talking about today. Nothing to do with that. Nothing. Let's move on to the next thing. Cooking, cleaning, massaging, rubbing, sucking, touching on a man like you his wife. Like you're his wife. And then you wonder why he won't tell you the truth, that he really don't want you. I wouldn't tell a fella the truth either. If they doing all this for me, you spending all your little money getting nails and toes done, getting a cooch wax that nobody should even be seeing, acting like this man's wife. And am I saying the wife does? Because I don't be doing all that stuff. That's unnecessary. It's totally unnecessary. But you won't ever find out if it's unnecessary or not, because you keep delving with the kind of people that you're delving with. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you letting this man waste your time? You've got full suited and booted to go over to a man's house that's not even really his house. The house that he had with his mama and them. You spent all your little money to go and see this man. Blows my mind. I remember teenage Tanzania doing that foolishness, and I'm telling you right now, here as a grown woman, it's a no. It's a no. No. I remember I told you I went on like one real date with my husband. We went to the movie theater. First of all, I used to have to wake up at 4:00 in the morning because I wanted to set my morning with the Lord before I left out of the home. And I was a single mom. I worked all day long. I worked in the catering department, so I did a whole lot of walking. Baby, I was tired at the end of my days. And he insists that I come on this date with him. I didn't dress up in any crazy outfit. And I was very tired once I got there. He will tell you right now, I went to sleep. And it was an accident. I got up and I apologized. But when he said it was okay for me to go sleep, baby, I slept the whole time. And let me tell you what, right now, if my husband turns on this TV to this day, guess what I'll do? Go to sleep. I didn't try to pretend to be anyone that I wasn't. I don't like watching TV. I really don't like watching movies. It have to be something like The Grinch. It's probably one of my favorite movies. But nothing really, the core of who I am hasn't changed. So why am I going to sit here and pretend to be something that I'm simply not? It's a waste of time. Stop wasting your time. You're over here acting like somebody's wife who don't even want you. It blows my mind. And once you really get out of it and see it for what it is, it's going to blow your mind too. And I want you to stop doing it. Walking around half naked. That's the next thing I have. This man takes you on a date. What do you think you are? You know, trophy. And then you're mad that somebody treating you like an object. You're walking around like an object. You want to look like an object on somebody's arm. Put on some clothes. Take it from me. I've been there before. Put on some clothes. A man who wants to take you as his wife, he is not going to appreciate you walking around half naked. Nobody wants to give. Who wants to show their treasure to everyone? And if he's looking at you like his treasure, he is not going to be very happy to see that everyone else gets to see his good stuff. Okay? I mean, if I'm honest with you, my husband doesn't even let my daughter wear anything. And when I say doesn't let her, he'll be like, those pants they're done. They're only for the home. Like, they're finished. Those are too short. You don't think those shorts are too short? He'll tell it to her. You don't think those shorts are too short? And you know me, I'm looking at it like, I would love to wear a little short shirt. No. But some of us didn't have fathers in our life to tell us like what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. Let me tell you right now, it's inappropriate. Stop letting men treat you like that. And some of the men aren't even asking this of you. You're just coming out there like that. And then you're wondering why he's put you in the category of the booty call for booty that you shouldn't even be giving. Imagine that. Let's move on to the next thing. Sharing stuff that makes this relationship feel more serious than it is. Shacking up. So sharing a place to stay, sharing a bank account. Sharing a bank account? Why? Sharing a car? Why? To someone who's not you, I want you to begin to look at this as this is going to make it harder for me to separate away from someone who say that they don't want me. And then you wonder why the men are wasting your time and not telling you this when you have so many things tied together. You be the wise one. Stop sharing stuff that are meant for a husband and a wife. And let me tell you right now, I told y'all my banking story. We share all of our accounts now, but it wasn't always that way. You know why? Because there's understandings. We have to understand who the pair of us are. Those things are left for marriage, though. They're left for marriage. Why are you sharing a bank account? Baby, somebody fool around, take all your little money, you gonna be mad. You gonna be ready to go to jail. Why you doing all that? It doesn't make any sense. No, baby. Sharing car notes? That means for the next, 3, 4, 5 years, we're tied together, even if you are showing me that you don't want me because we decided to share a car together. Girl, that's stupid. It's stupid. I'm telling you, the girl, I was in an entanglement and the person was much older than I was, so had a lot more ways to get into financial debt. I was a teenager, so there wasn't many things that I was in need of, right? Girl, when I walked away from that relationship, I walked away with all kind of stuff on my credit, from payday loans and just stuff I didn't even know about as a teenager that I got thrown into. And by the grace of God, I was able to come out on the other side, but some people never do. And I want to help you out. Don't put my name on no light bill, baby. I don't know if you're going to... don't put my name on no lease with you, baby. No. You want a roommate? Find yourself a roommate. Okay? Stay your butt at home. But you want to have a separate bed. You want to have a home by yourself so you can be doing stuff that you shouldn't even be doing, like sleeping with this man. Girl, get yourself together. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. And the next thing is getting approval from him like he your husband. Why are you asking your boyfriend, can you do anything? And I do mean anything. Now your fiance, we're taking into account that possibly you haven't been his fiance for the last 5 years, because that would be a waste of time. But let's say y'all got engaged. Well, we're taking it a step closer into marriage, right? And like I said, I'm not talking about these extended datings and extended engagement. I'm talking about a normal course of engagement time. We're taking it a step further. And because we're taking it a step further, we can take it a step further in his responsibility of you. So yes, you can share a bit more. But your boyfriend, where are you? I'll let you know when I get back home. Why? And then you wonder why when you break up, this man know all the places to find you. You always running your mouth. Why are you doing that? Why are you giving this man all this information who has shown no real interest in you? I'm trying to help you out, sis. That's all. This is a dating trend that just need to stop. I don't want you going into next year with them. I don't want you going into next week with them. I want you to stop them now. And this is the last thing I have. And I'll probably expand on this a bit later, but I gotta go. You're not these kids' mother. You heard me. If you are dating a man with kids, You dating a man with kids, and let's say you've been dating for 5 years. Marriage nowhere in sight. You are not these kids' mother. Man, if you're dating a woman and she got kids, you are not these kids' father. Don't get yourself entangled in a situation where you're sticking around for kids that's not even yours. Okay? Because just know that the allegiance of children is to their parents, not to you. I'm trying to spare you a heartbreak and heartache, okay? You're not these kids' mama. Let them deal with them kids. And you sit back. You shut your mouth long enough to sit back and see how they deal with those kids and see if you even want to be bothered with that for the rest of your life. But you're not their mama. Okay? As always, if you have a question, ask a question. And I'll see you in the next video.